Hello friends, welcome back to MS Technologies. In last video, we have seen some of the Python interview question and answers, which is part 1. So this is the continuation video for that part 1. Here also I'm going to discuss some of the important Python interview question and answers. So you guys can expect one more video which is related to this Python interview question and answers. After that, I will do one more video on Django interview question and answers. After that, I will do one more video on Django REST framework interview question and answers also. So now let me start this. First one. What is the difference between deep and shallow copy? Here, deep copy in the sense what? Creates a new and a separate copy of the objects and its elements. With the elements, we are creating complete new object at here. Going to shallow copy. Create a copy of the object, but rather than copying the elements of the object, it copies the reference of their memory address. Here it is not copying the elements of the object, it is copying the reference of the memory address. But coming to deep copy, any changes made in a new copy, it doesn't reflect on original copy. Why? Here, completely different cloned object we created. On that cloned object, we are performing changes. In that case, it would reflect on the original copy. But coming to shallow copy, any changes made to the copy, it reflects on the original copy. Why? Here, references, whatever we have, those references are same for both the objects. In that cases, both references are pointing to the same object. In that case, if you do any modifications, it will reflect on the original object also. Next question. Which are the file related libraries or modules in Python? Okay. Here, what is module? What module contains? Module contains a group of functions and variables like that. Here, these modules are providing some functions. By using those functions, what we can able to do, we can manipulate the data right inside the files. Right, suppose if you want to create the files, we can create, update the files, copy the files, delete the files. All these operations, all these manipulations we can do by using the functions which are available in OS module, OS.path module, and the shuttle module. Here we have three important modules, which is OS module, OS.path module, and the shuttle module. All these modules will provide some functions. By using those functions, what we can do? We can manipulate test files and binary files. What is the test files? It contains normal character type of data. Binary files in the sense it contains images, videos, and audio type of data. We can manipulate all the things by using the functions which are provided by these modules. But here, OS and OS path modules include functions for accessing the file system. If you go with this shuttle module, what it will do? This module enables you to copy and delete the files. Next question. So which are the different file processing modes supported by Python? We have so many modes are available. Suppose if you want to write the data inside the file, right, we have to go for one mode. If you want to read the data from the file, we have to go to other mode. If you want to append the data inside the file, we have to go to other mode. Like that, we have multiple modes are available inside Python. What modes are there? First one is R mode. R means what? Open an existing file for read operation. For read operation, right, it is open, it will open the existing file. This is the default mode. Next one is write mode. W means write mode. Open an existing file for a write operation. A means append mode. Open an existing file for append operation. R plus means read and write mode. W plus means write and read data. A plus means append and read data from the file. X means to open a file in exclusive creation mode for write operation. X mode for right, to open a file for exclusive creation mode for write operation. If the file already exists, then we will get a file existing error. Right. Next question. What are classes and objects in Python? What is a class? If you want to create any object, we require some model or a plan or blueprint, which is nothing but a class. Class is nothing but a design. Class is nothing but a plan. It is nothing but a blueprint. Right? If you want to create any object, compulsory that a design, plan or blueprint must be required. Suppose if you guys want to construct any building, what you guys require? First, some good plan must be required. Some good design must be required. By seeing that design, we can construct a wonderful building. Here, compulsory you should require before constructing the building. Right? A plan must be required before construct the building on paper. By seeing that, we can able to start the building construction. So that design whatever we have on the paper is nothing but a class. Right, after completing the building, right, what we will get a physical existence of the class. After completion of that building, we will get a physical existence of the class. That is nothing but an object. Object means what? Physical existence of a class is nothing but object. How we can able to create the object? Here, if you want to create object, a reference variable equal to class name parenthesis. Like this, we can able to create the object. Per class, how many number of objects we can create? N number of objects. If you have design, if you have building plan, how many number of buildings you can construct? We can construct any number of buildings by seeing that plan. By using that plan, we can able to construct any number of buildings. Same way, here also, if you have a class, for that class, we can create any number of objects. Next one. What is a lambda function? Give an example for lambda function. Suppose, if you want to write a normal function, how you guys will write? Def keyword, function name, parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, we will pass some arguments. Inside the function, we'll write some statements. Here, sometimes we can write a function without having any name also. For normal functions, we are giving function name. But sometimes we can write a function without having any name. Such type of nameless functions are called anonymous functions or lambda functions. A function without any name, such type of nameless functions are called anonymous functions or lambda functions. Give me some example about that lambda function. See, here I want to find out sum of two numbers by using lambda function. For that, how to write the syntax? See, lambda is the keyword. Suppose if you want to write normal function, we are using def keyword. But if you want to write lambda functions, we have to use this lambda keyword. Lambda, next space, next we have to take argument list. Right, whatever the arguments, suppose you want to find out sum of two numbers, compulsory two numbers must be required. Those two numbers as arguments we have to take it here. Lambda keyword, space, argument list, colon expression. A plus B is the expression it here. A comma B is the argument list. Lambda is the keyword. Here I am not using any return. Why? Here we no need to use any return keyword. My expression itself will return the value. Here A plus B is the expression. That expression itself return the value. Explicitly, we no need to take any return keyword yet here. Here what I am doing? Print the sum of 10, 20 is S of 10, 20. So this 10 and 20 are the arguments. These two are the arguments. Will go to this argument list A, B. By using this argument list, we can evaluate this expression. This expression will return the value which is 30. S is equal to 30. You will get it here. So the sum of 10, 20 is you will get 30. Clear? One word answer. What is the lambda function means? Sometimes we can write a function without having any name. Such a type of nameless functions are called anonymous functions or lambda functions. Next question. How can you randomize the items of a list in place of Python? Right. Here, what is the meaning for this? I have list. Inside the list, I have some elements are there like Python, Django, DRF, Java, Spring. Like this, some elements are there inside the list. Now, what I want to do, I want to shuffle. I want to shuffle all these elements randomly. I don't know any order. Randomly, I want to shuffle this list elements. How we can able to do that? For that, Python is providing one inbuilt function, which is nothing but a shuffle function. Python is providing one function which is nothing but a shuffle function. Where that shuffle function is available, inside a random module, that shuffle function is available. Where that shuffle function is available, inside a random module. By using that shuffle function, we can shuffle the elements of the list. We can shuffle all the elements of list. See, here I am taking list. First I am importing shuffle function from random import shuffle. Next, here I am taking one list. L is equal to Python, Django, DRF, Java, Spring. Now I want to shuffle all the elements. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pass this list to shuffle function. Now shuffle function will shuffle all the elements. Finally, I'm going to print that list. Here you will get a shuffled list. Here you will get shuffled list. We'll see that. Here I'm taking, see, from random import shuffle. Here I'm going to take one list. Here Python, Django, DRF, Java, Spring. So now what I'm going to do, I want to shuffle all the elements. Initially I have a list like this. Initially I have a list like Python, Django, DRF, Java, Spring. After shuffling, how we will get this list, we'll see. Now I'm going to pass this list to shuffle function. Shuffle of L. Now I'm going to print that L. See, finally how you got Spring, Python, Java, DRF, Django. The elements are changed. The elements are shuffled. Right? For this which function we are using? Shuffle function. Where the shuffle function is available? Inside a random module. Right? Next question. Write a Python program to find the length of the string without using length function. Without using length function, I want to find out the length. Very simple. Here, I'm going to take one string like this. S is equal to Python. Now here I'm going to take one count variable. Count is equal to initially 0 I'm taking. Here I'm going to write one for loop for each element in yes. For each element in yes. Now here what I'm going to do. Here count is equal to count plus 1. Here what is the value of count? Count value is 0. 0 plus 1. First time iteration I'm doing. First time the control comes inside for loop. Here count value is 0 plus 1. The count value will become 1 at here. Second time the control came inside this for loop. Already count value is 1 is there, plus 1 2, count value will become 2. Third time came, count value is 2, 2 plus 1 3. Fourth time came, count value is 3, 3 plus 1 4. Fifth time came, count value is 4 plus 1. Like this every time the value will be incremented. How many number of times this loop will be iterated? Here how many number of characters are there? Total number of characters inside the string, those many number of times this loop also will be iterated. So automatically the count value will be increment. So now here what I'm going to do, here just I'm going to check count value. Count, it will print 6. Here how many number of characters are there inside? Yes, PYTHON, 6 characters. So here count we are getting 6. I'm not using any length function at here. Without using length inbuilt function, we can able to find the count value. Right? So next. See here same program I wrote it here. S is equal to Python, count value 0 I am taking. For X in S, count is equal to count plus 1. Finally I am printing count. Next question. How memory management work in Python? This is very, very important question. See, here we have one private heap area. What that heap will do, it will maintain all our Python objects and data structures. Whatever the objects we are creating inside our program, all those objects are maintained by, stored by inside this heap area only. As a programmer, we can't able to access, we can't able to manage, we can't able to handle that heap. Then who will handle that one? interpreter can able to handle that one heap area. Now, whenever we created the objects, right, that heap space allocation, who will take care? Python memory manager will take care. Right, after creating the Python objects, some space must be required for that object inside the heap. Inside the heap area, some space must be required for those objects. Who will take care of that allocation, memory allocation for created Python objects? We don't know. We are not doing that activity. Python memory manager will take care of that. Python memory manager will take care of that allocation, space allocation inside the heap. Next, Python contains one built-in garbage collector. What garbage collector will do? It will destroy all useless objects. What it will do? It will destroy all useless object. Useless object in the sense what? If the object doesn't contain any reference, means that object is useless. If an object does not contain any reference variable in the sense that object is useless, garbage collector will destroy that useless objects. Built-in garbage collector recycles all unused memories. Right? Like this, memory management will work inside Python. Next question. Define difference between remove, delete, and pop functions. Difference between remove, delete, and pop functions. A remove function, what it will do? It will remove the specified element. It will remove the specified element. Suppose if list contains multiple times the specified element, if list contains the specified element multiple times, what it will do? It will remove the first occurrence only. It will remove the first occurrence only. Here what I am taking, list 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 I am taking. Here what is the specified element? 2. How many number of times 2 is available inside the list? 2 times. Then what it will do? It will remove only first occurrence, means this one. After removing this, what you will get? You will get 1 3 4 5 1 2 you will get. What about delete function? It will delete the element by using index. But it doesn't return any value. It will remove the element by using index, but it doesn't return any value. Here I am taking list 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Right, here what I am doing, delete list of 1. Because in 1th position, which element is there? Delete that element I am telling. Right, in 1th position, which element is there? 20 is there. Now I want to delete that 20. Now I want to delete that 20. How you can able to delete that 20? By using delete. By using delete list of 1. It will delete the element, but it won't return anything. See, if after that I am printing that list. Here we are getting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 20 is located in 1th position. That 20 got deleted. Next one is a pop function. What it will do? It will remove the element and return that element also. It will delete and return that element also. Here I am taking list 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Here print list.pop. List.pop function I am using it here. Here I am not passing any value, right? Then how it can able to delete? Pop function automatically delete and return last element of the list. Here what is the last element? 50 is the last element. Pop function automatically delete and return the last element of the list. Same thing it is doing. 50 is returning. Next, list dot pop of 1 means what I am doing, we can pass the index also to pop function. If you want, you can pass the index to pop function. In that index location, which element is available, it will delete that element and return that element. Print list dot pop of 1. Pop of 1. In 1th position, which element is there? 20 is there. Right? 10 means 0th position 10 is there. 1st position 20 is there. It will remove that element and return to you. These are the main differences between remove function, delete, and pop. Remove, delete, and pop. So next question. So what are the decorators in Python? Decorators are nothing but what? Decorators are nothing but functions only. Decorators are nothing but functions only. Extending the functionalities of existing functions without modifying them. Extending the functionalities of existing functions without modifying them. Right? By using decorators, we can do just see here I'm taking one function like def wish function. I'm taking wish function. I'm taking here. I'm passing name like this. Therefore, which name I'm taking, like say here I'm going to print like print hello, name I'm taking good morning. Now here what I'm going to do, I'm going to call that function wish Raju. Here what you will get, it will print hello Raju good morning, hello Raju good morning. Now I'm going to call like this wish Ravi, hello Ravi good morning. But my requirement is, if name is Raju, then only I want to get hello Raju good morning. If name is other than Raju, I want to get hello so and so name bad morning, hello so and so name bad morning I want to get, right? If name is Raju, then only I want to get good morning. If name is other than Raju, I want to get bad morning, right? For that, what we will do, inside this wish function, I will write one if condition. There I will check if name is equal to Raju, then print hello Raju good morning. If name not equal to Raju, then print inside else part. I will take like this. If name not equal to Raju, then what we have to print? Hello name bad morning. I want to print like that. We have to write if else inside this wish method. But without touching this wish method, without changing any logic inside wish method, I want to change the functionality of wish function. Without touching this wish function, without changing inside this wish function, I want to change the functionality of wish function. Means what? If I give name Raju, I want to get hello Raju good morning. If I give name other than that Raju, I want to get hello name bad morning. Like that I want to get. For this, without touching this wish function, we can do by using decorator functions. Without changing, without modifying existing functions, we can change the functionality of existing function is nothing but what? Decorator function. By using decorator function, we can do that, right? So decorators is nothing but a advanced functions only, extending the functionalities of existing functions without modifying them. Clear? So these are the some of the important interview questions in Python. Right? You guys can expect one more video related to this Python interview questions only. After completing that, I will do one more video on Django interview questions. I will do one more video on Django REST framework interview questions also. If anyone is watching first time my videos, please subscribe the videos and like and share these videos also. Thank you. Bye bye.